What's up, collective? It's Kai. So today I wanted to talk about experiencing the darkness. Because I do believe that it is really important to actually live through it versus repress it, deny it, redirect, distract. And those are all methods that actually are very helpful and things that I've actually learned in childcare training, where it's really important to be able to know how to redirect children so that they can not focus on what's upsetting them so much, to see a different perspective, especially as we all are getting older and have the pleasure and privilege really to be able to live life to the extent that we have gotten to this point, because it's a privilege and a pleasure for you yourself to experience you. I recognized that I had gone through this whole, dark night of the soul is like the term that they use in spirituality, but it truly is where you just allow yourself to sit with the darkness and the shadow and the aspects of yourself that you don't like. And I was watching this beautiful podcast episode. I'm pretty sure it's the Diary of the CEO, DOAC, yeah, Diary of the CEO of a CEO, sorry. With Dr. K, and he was speaking about how texting has atrophied the muscles, the neurotransmitters, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I can't remember word for word, but if you want, you could definitely watch that episode. It's the something about powerlessness of men and women. Anyways, it's with Dr. K on that channel, and he was talking about how texting really allowed the brain to not use tone, volume, and what was the other thing? Sorry, I just want to body language. And I was honestly, I kind of had this whole experience recently. Sorry, I have work soon, so I have to make sure that I get there on time. But I really wanted to talk about it because I experienced this whole thing with someone calling me out on my tonality in my text. And I personally was recognizing in hindsight, after everything kind of went to shit and I lost, or all these people walked away from me, respectfully so, but it's also in my mind, right, in my perspective, my perception, I don't believe that text can truly relay that kind of message that one wants to send to someone. And that's why I love FaceTiming, because it's just you see my body, you see my face, you hear my voice, and you are able to see me live action versus sending a text, right? And I was talking to someone maybe a few months back, but we were talking about how texting is a format that is allowing you to relay information. I'm not that uptight or strict about it, but I truly do believe that that is something of importance to note. And he was speaking, Dr. K was speaking about that, and how when it comes to social anxiety, the rise of social anxiety, and how it's become a lot more prominent nowadays. And it's in due part of technology and technological uses, because we're not activating those parts of our brain. And so literally it's atrophying. As someone who literally had the left side of my body atrophy physically, that is so crazy because it's so true. And I went into solitude for 3 years in 2020, right when COVID hit. I dropped out of school. I was going to UC Irvine for psychology. Everything was online, and I fucking hated it because I never saw a single person in my class, literally, because we didn't do Zoom. It was just lecture videos of my teacher in his backyard and the occasional visit of his cat, which I loved, but I went into solitude, but I would go out. I would event hop. I then went into marketing, and I was meeting people on a daily basis, hundreds of people talking about the nonprofits that I was marketing for. And I just really have been a very active person socially, And I remember I told people, I won't say who obviously, but like I told these people that I am very, I forget actually, so not of importance right now, but I recognize that yes, I have an ability to socialize with others. It's more of the interpersonal connections that I've been learning a lot. And it's a really cool experience actually to have this whole thing happen where I'm getting ostracized, or I got ostracized by this whole group, and how I was recognizing the certain things that were triggering me. And one of the things that I wanted to speak about was certain aspects of myself that I saw reflected back to me that I no longer aligned with. And it had to do with complaining, and that venting. And Dr. K talks about this and how venting really isn't that helpful because we're not doing anything about it, we're just talking about it. And it's cultivating negativity. And as someone who is spiritual, I do believe that the things we say is important, because my brain can't tell the difference between my true reality and what I believe. Because if I tell myself that I'm a shitty person, I only care about myself because that's what this person said to me, that I make everything about me. And I know that that was just a moment in time, but if I truly believed those things and told myself those things, then I would continue to perpetuate this whole painful cycle of like, oh, like, fuck everyone else, like pretty much putting myself on a pedestal, right? Which isn't true. That's not my truth. And so it was me recognizing that this person doesn't see me clearly in this moment. So it's not to even define them. And it's taken me quite some time to not only forgive myself, but forgive this person. And I am really, I'm just really grateful, because I do believe that I went through this whole experience of being in this dark place when I felt very rejected from this person that I just really liked, honestly. Like, I really just liked him for no fucking reason, really. And like, we're different, right? Like, we have many differences, many maybe resonant parts, but there was definitely a lot of differences, and I had to acknowledge that. But I wasn't truly accepting that. I was denying myself the space to experience that emotion of liking someone. And that was the shadow aspect of myself that I recognized that I just really didn't like, because being rejected is one thing, but falling in love, okay, one thing that I really want to set is, it's not falling, it's rising in love. And I've really been witnessing and experiencing myself in this space where I am rising in love, from just accepting how I truly feel about this person, and occasionally making efforts to try and connect with them. And if it doesn't work out, it's not to be like, oh my god, they don't like me, like it's not to like go into this whole like pretty much this cycle that I used to go into, where if things didn't work out, I'd be like, I would pretty much have like, what would you call that? Like, when you think of the worst and you're just like, you're super pessimistic about it, and you're like, no, yeah, like they fucking hate me, like blah, 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 which is not true. Like, it's literally just me telling myself those things. So I've changed the way that I thought about myself. I've changed the way that I interact with my thoughts, and our thoughts are fucking powerful. And so when it came to like certain aspects of like feeling like someone owes me something, right? That's something I really wanted to talk about before I go to work, because I gotta go in like a few minutes. But no one owes me anything, and I owe no one anything either. And the reason why I say that is because it's not to hold the past above someone's head or dangle the carrot in front of their face. No, it's me now being just very upfront. I told this person, like, I just want to be around you. Like, I just want to be around you, so just let me know. And just know that the invitation is open. and letting it go, right? Like, I do feel like I've healed so much in that respects of how I, in past relationships, was just like so keen on having them accept the one thing that I really want to do. But that's not truly that's not the most natural thing. You know what I mean? Where you don't always get what you want, you get what you need, actually. And I feel that from not only interacting with the groups of people, the people that are no longer a part of my life, but even with this energy of me making an effort, even though it does make me kind of shy and like nervous a little bit and excited and kind of embarrassed sometimes too. Like I was like calling myself down. I was like, bruh, just send him the fucking text. And like not defining this person based on what other people have told me about him. And it's like just having my experience be purely my own, you know? And I've now stepped more and more into society after going into solitude, after grieving a loved one that passed away. Like after all of these experiences that were very, very deeply dark times for me, I let it go, I moved through it, and I am living now and here. And if I'm not experiencing that darkness, whatever forms it comes in, I don't need to force myself into it. I have to acknowledge my growth, actually. And that's the kind of place that I've been in. And I'm just like, why am I confusing myself? Why am I trying to make it seem like I need to experience things so in such a deprecating way? You know, like I used to think so shitty of myself for being so in love with someone and them being so willing to walk away. That was one of the things that I'm recognizing even now as I'm talking about it, is the person that I was with in a relationship last was very much going through a hard time. So I painted them as a villain because I was so betrayed that they wanted to walk away. They wanted to end our relationship from what they told me, because they thought that I deserved better. And I used to hate it when people would say that to me, because I was always like, you don't get to decide what I deserve. I get to decide what I deserve. And then going into solitude and obviously like experiencing the post-breakup like dynamic with myself, I have to acknowledge that this person made a choice that they thought was not only best for me, because they did care about me a lot. He was my best friend, and I am now respecting that choice to a higher degree, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have met so many people in my life now. I wouldn't have walked away, honestly. I would have stayed. And sometimes I need that. I need someone to decide to walk away from me so that I can move through. Because as a Capricorn moon and the Scorpio sun, I tend to be very loyal. And that can be very, very much to my own detriment, unfortunately. But I've definitely discerned a lot more, a lot better nowadays. And I'm really, really happy for myself, because like, that shit sucks. It just sucks when you really want to work things out and it just doesn't work out, and like you start to resent this person when really they just care for you. And that is the same in this case to its own degree. This person cared for me in their own way, but they cared for themselves in their own way too. And I respect that. I really respect that. Like, if I'm a negative person in someone else's life, then please, with all due respect, cut me off. And it's not personal. It's not personal, seriously. Like, we all make our own decisions, and that is the beauty of free will, as much as we learn from our mistakes and we can grow and change. So that is the end of the video. I have to head to work. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for holding space. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being you. Truly, thank you for being you. Thank you for being alive. And I'm sending you so much love and support on your own spiritual journey.